Do you feel like you're doing everything right with your hair, but your hair is still not quite right? Well, if so, stick around. I'll be talking about things that you are doing to sabotage the health of your hair and you don't even realize it. Hey guys, Karen with Curl House. I'm a licensed cosmetologist, a certified trichologist, and the owner of the fabulous Curl House Collection product line and the Curl House Academy Let's Get Growing program. And today we are going to be talking about some small habits that you may have that may be damaging your hair and you don't even realize it. So the first one has nothing to do with styling. It has everything to do with one of your styling tools, such as your detangling brush. Are you someone that uses a detangling brush to detangle your hair? If this is you, then you may be using that brush incorrectly and you may be unknowingly damaging your hair. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in Tanika. You know who Tanika is, my favorite client. I'm going to bring my favorite client in here and I'm going to show you how to properly detangle your hair using a detangling brush. All right, here we go. Here's Tanika. Now, in terms of using a detangling brush, this is an example. Most people do this. Is this you? Do you, when you detangle your hair, do you detangle it like this? So notice how I'm holding the brush. I'm holding the brush horizontally like this. Is this you? Do you do this? If you hold your brush horizontally, then yes, you may be unknowingly damaging your hair. The correct way to detangle your hair using a brush is vertically. So you want to hold the brush in the same direction as the hair flows. So as opposed to doing this, you want to do this. Brush it vertically. That is how you properly detangle your hair. You brush it vertically. Hold it in this direction. It is going to make a big difference in detangling and it is going to minimize breakage when you hold it vertically. So that is number one. If you are someone who uses a detangling brush, do it vertically and not horizontally. And speaking of detangling, that leads me to mistake number two that you may be making. Now, when you are detangling, whether or not you're using a brush or a comb, there is still a proper way to detangle your hair. And that is detangle from the ends up. So you can see I have a comb. I am not a detangling brush type of person. I do not like detangling brushes. I prefer the comb. And if I'm going to use a comb, I use a wooden comb that is seamless, because combs that have seams in them, those lines in them, that also leads to breakage. So bonus tip, if you're detangling with a comb that has a seam in it, switch your comb out and get a seamless comb. Now, okay, back to what I was saying. You want to detangle your hair properly. So when you detangle your hair, you want to start from the ends up. But before you even pick up your comb or your brush, when you detangle, the best way to detangle your hair first is to start with your fingers. And this even starts before you shampoo your hair. So before you actually shampoo your hair, use your fingers to just pull out some of the shed hair. That's step number one. Because if you just take your twist out and immediately wash your hair, all of that shed hair that's in your hair shaft, it's going to create even more tangles for you to detangle. So I want you to use your fingers first to detangle. The second thing is to pull out your brush or your comb. So I already told you how to detangle using a brush. You detangle in a vertical direction, but let me pull her over so you can see. So if you are using a brush, start from the bottom up and gradually work your way up to the roots. That is how you properly do it. Even if you're using a detangling comb, do the same thing. Start from the bottom up. Most people do this. Now, of course, her hair is already detangled, so I'm combing right through it, but don't get it twisted. If you start here and you try to pull the tangles out like that, that is going to gradually break your hair off. So please stop making the mistake of just taking your comb or your brush and ripping through your hair. You want to do it gently, particularly when your hair is wet. Wet hair is fragile hair. So when you are detangling wet hair, preferably with conditioner in it, make sure you start from the bottom up and gradually and gently make your way to the root. And that is how you properly detangle your hair with minimal breakage. So stop making the mistake of detangling incorrectly. Okay, and since we are talking about wash day anyway, that leads me to mistake number 3. And that is not using rinse out conditioner. So many people ask me, Karen, can I use shampoo and then just skip the conditioner and go straight to the leave-in conditioner? No, don't do that. Always, hear my voice, always apply rinse out conditioner after you shampoo your hair. Do not skip the rinse out conditioner. Leave-in conditioner and rinse out conditioner have 2 different purposes. So yes, they do condition your hair. But when you look at your rinse out conditioner and when you look at your leave-in conditioner, typically your leave-in conditioner is lighter than your rinse out conditioner. Your rinse out conditioner is thicker. Your rinse out conditioner is heavier. That is because when you wet your hair after you shampoo it, you open up that outer layer, that cuticle layer of hair from just shampooing your hair. That heavier rinse out conditioner is the first step to close that cuticle back down. And that is what you want, that cuticle to lay down as flat as possible, regardless of the porosity. Yes, I know people with low porosity hair typically have a cuticle layer that lies flat more naturally than someone like me who has high porosity hair. But even still, your rinse out conditioner was designed to start that process of laying down that cuticle layer. That is in part why you do not skip it. And I just talked about detangling hair. When you use a rinse out conditioner, that helps to detangle the hair. So because it's thick, it has more slip. That is the best time to detangle your hair when you have in that rinse out conditioner. So I encourage you to consider that as well. Now, after you use your rinse out conditioner, then you apply your leave-in conditioner, but do not skip the rinse out conditioner and go directly to leave-in conditioner. That is not enough. And that may be one of the mistakes that you are making that is compromising the health of your hair. So remember, ladies, make sure you use your rinse out conditioner and your leave-in conditioner. You need both. The 4th mistake you may be making relates to your hairstyle. So if you are someone who wears 2-strand twist and you wear a twist out, how you untwist your hair may be affecting the health of your hair. Let me show you why. Okay, I got Tanika back to show you. So how you untwist your hair may be damaging the health of your ends. If you are someone who untwists your hair from the bottom like this, so if you unravel your 2-strand twist and you start plucking like this, you're plucking to untwist the hair, that could be damaging your ends. So you already know that the ends of your hair is the oldest part of your hair. So it's the part of your hair that's the most susceptible to breakage anyway, because the ends are old and the ends are dry. So if you are doing a lot of manipulating and a lot of plucking down here at the ends to unravel, you're just putting a little more tension on the ends, and that could lead to split ends. So don't untwist your ends by plucking at the bottom. Instead, do it like this. Take the entire 2-strand twist, untwist it like a rope, like this. So can you see? I'm just unraveling it, and it just comes apart, just like that. That is how you untwist a 2-strand twist. Let me show you again. A 2-strand twist. Take the entire twist and unravel. So when I say unravel, you're going to turn it in the opposite direction that you twisted it. So I twisted it to the left. So I'm going to take the entire twist and unwind it like that. in the opposite direction, and it just separates just like that. That is how you properly take down your two-strand twist. That is going to minimize the damage or the plucking to the ends, increasing your split ends. So if you are making this mistake with your two-strand twist, make sure you stop and learn to properly untwist your hair. And speaking of twisting, this leads me to my very last mistake that you may be making that may be damaging your hair, and that is over manipulating your hair between wash days. So in other words, if you are someone that is rocking a two-strand twist out, are you someone that will retwist it every single night in very small twists every single night? That is an example of over manipulation. So while if you're rocking a twist out, while if you are someone who feels like they need to retwist their hair every night in order for your twist out to be fabulous, I get that. But do not put your hair in tiny, tiny twists to retwist it. So whatever your hair looks like when you set it, typically when you set your hair in the two-strand twist, your twist may be smaller. If you are retwisting your hair in small twists every single night, that is over manipulation, and that is what may be causing your hair to break off. So while grooming our hair, styling our hair, I get it, that's what we do. That's how we maintain the health of our hair. That's how we maintain the style. We keep the hairstyle looking fabulous. I get that. But if you're doing it too much, remember your hair is fragile and it will break off. So if you're touching it too much, it's going to break off. So if you're someone who's rocking a twist out, hold on, let me get Tanika. Okay, so with Tanika, you see her hair is in two-strand twists. You don't have to put your hair in little tiny two-strand twists before you go to bed. You can take a larger section of hair and put this in a chunky two-strand twist, not small two-strand twists. The less twists you put in, the less you have to manipulate your hair when you take it out. Also, another suggestion, as opposed to retwisting it every night, you can just put a satin bonnet on it. Put a bonnet on it so that it lies flat and it stays in place. So the next morning when you take your bonnet off, then your twist may still be, your waves may still be wavy, your hair may still be wavy. So that's an option as well. Or you can take your hair and put it up in a pineapple, which is pretty much taking a scrunchie and putting it up so that it just sits on top of your head. Put a bonnet on it, and when you take your bonnet off in the morning, take the scrunchie off and your hair is just going to fall back down in place. So those are just some options to some things that you can do as opposed to constantly retwisting it every night. And even if you're someone that doesn't retwist the hair, just over manipulating in general. When I first went natural years ago, oh my gosh, I would play in my hair all day. I'm touching it and putting it up on the left and putting it up on the right and fluffing it and just constantly touching it all throughout the day. That can subtly damage your hair. It may not seem like it's a lot, but if you're doing it every day for weeks and weeks and weeks turn into months and months turn into years, then that's when you will start to see the damage. So just minimize touching and over manipulating your hair. So that is the fifth mistake. So I want you all to have healthy, fabulous hair that you're able to retain the length. So if you implement some of these things that I've shared with you, even if it's just one, you will notice a difference in the health of your hair. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed these tips. If you are looking for an amazing product line that is going to keep your dry hair hydrated, or if you have scalp issues, if you're dealing with slow growing hair, the Curl House collection of products is the collection for you. Check it out. I'll make sure I'll put the link below in the description. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up, like the channel so that you do not miss a video in the future. And until we talk again, stay fabulous.